Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the CSFL Kickoff Show podcast. And it is Super Bowl time. Super Bowl number 7 is upon us today. We are going live with the result and going to be going through and watching the game. And of course, it's not going to be just myself watching the game live here and talking as we go through, but I'm joined by two fantastic guests on the show. First one I'm going to introduce is a long-time standing guest who's been a bit of a co-partner of mine through the years, and that is two-time Titans GM winning Josh. Josh, welcome back to the show. It could be by the end of this live Super Bowl, you could be up there with another GM for two championships.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's going to be really cool to see how this turns out. I think that both teams are really evenly matched because of injury, and that is going to be a really good, close game. We're predicting a shootout, so it'll be fun to see what we got.
Absolutely. And we're also joined by a second guest, a new GM into the league, the Jets GM, not Zimmer. I'm going to call you Zimmer. I think it's just easier. But welcome very much to the show, Zimmer. You're back twice in almost in 1 week, I believe. So obviously the first one didn't put you off. Great to have you back on the show. Are you looking forward to seeing the first CSFL Super Bowl as your Jets tenure begins?
Yeah, thank you for having me back again. I can annoy everybody some more. Yeah, I'm super excited to see Super Bowl. It's an interesting matchup, and I want to know who I have to dethrone next year. So figure that out.
Absolutely, it's going to be an interesting one. And let's take some time at the beginning of the show to talk about the two teams that have got to the Super Bowl. I'll hand over to you guys to talk about both. Maybe we'll start with the Ravens. I mean, they've had a fantastic season, 14-2. They've beat some really good competition to get to this stage as well. I mean, Josh, obviously being in that conference, I'm sure you've followed the Ravens fairly closely. What's been your take on them this season and going into the Super Bowl?
I think they're just a very strong team. They haven't really lost a beat from their previous team that won the Super Bowl. They got a little bit older, but they mitigated that really well with some smart drafting and trading and picking up players in free agency. I really loved their midseason trade to make their running back situation kind of a dual threat type deal. And I think that's going to really serve them well in this game because if you remember from the last time these two teams matched up, it really came down to which team had the better run game. So I think that they're well equipped to join the two Super Bowl club, but at the same time, I really think the Lions are strong too. So it's just going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and Zimmer, I guess in terms of following the Ravens through this playoffs, has anything really impressed you with their game going into this Super Bowl?
Well, I think when I think about the Ravens and to some extent even the Lions, I think they benefited from some asymmetries in the previous matchup. Like if you look at that Broncos-Ravens game, the Ravens have an outstanding defensive line, just like the Broncos do, but the Broncos really don't have an offensive line that's on that same tier as, say, the Ravens or the Lions. And I think the interesting thing about this matchup is that both teams are so well balanced that I don't really see a ton of those really weakness versus strength kind of situations. So I think that makes the game very hard to predict.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the Ravens are one of the teams that have been arguably one of the most consistent teams for several years now. We're unlucky last year, I guess, not to go further in the playoffs last year, but certainly have come back with a vengeance this year. And as you guys have pointed out, maybe had some really good lineup matchups in the playoffs, but they've still dominated. They've made some good moves in terms of sorting out a bit of a dual running back situation going forward, and have pretty much torn the league apart in some respects. Coming into this one, I mean, they are a pretty elite rushing team, as you guys have pointed out. And on the defensive side, they've not necessarily lost anything really, despite some of their players possibly getting slightly older. So let's move on, talk a little bit about the Lions then. I'm going to pretty much hand over to you, Josh, at this point to talk about them and Zimmer. Interested to get your thoughts in terms of the Lions coming into the Super Bowl as well.
Well, I guess to start, I mean, this is historically now probably the number one offense in the history of the league. It was probably Rouse the Saints before that, but the Detroit has been up there for the past, I want to say 3 seasons at number one. So they've probably finally overtaken any metrics that might have been pointing the other way. And I think that if they win this game, it's going to be because of Matt Stafford. Like he has been the the best pure passing quarterback in our version of the league. Probably the closest thing to Dan Marino, Tom Brady, like just pure quarterback type that we've seen so far. 49 TDs to I think under 10 interceptions. So that's just a fantastic ratio. I mean, I'm kind of shocked he actually didn't break 50 TDs because I think at one point we were joking in some chats that he was close to like 50. I think he was on pace for like 54 or 56. So kind of starts and ends with him. I think it really hurts them that Mendenhall and Mata are out. I think that was two things that kind of pushed this team from just being like elite to being, one of the most talented teams ever, and brought them back down to earth a little bit. But at the same time, I think they still have everything they need to mitigate that. What troubles me for this game for them is that their defense just hasn't really been what it's been in the past. And if that hasn't been fixed, which it looks like it might have been in the playoffs, but that hasn't been fixed, they're going to have a hard time stopping that really efficient rushing game for Baltimore.
And Zimmer, your reflections on the Lions before I hand over to you guys to maybe give us your view on what both teams need to do to win this game.
I think Josh did a great job. The things that I would like to maybe add to that is a little interesting statistic about the Lions about Mendenhall. While Mendenhall was in, he was averaging 5.1 yards per carry, which is right at the top of the league with the Ravens, the Saints, the top rushing teams. Without him, they're averaging 3.9 yards per carry. And that's actually a little distorted by two really massive running games you had against the Giants. So I think realistically it's probably below that, which takes your team from the top of the league to like the lower middle tier as a running team, which is pretty shocking difference for one player to make, especially with an offensive line is.
Yeah, really interesting observation there. Great stat to pull out, I guess, ahead of this one. And I'll throw it back to you, I guess. So obviously the game line here is Baltimore -4. Zimmer, start with you. What do you feel the Lions need to do to win the Super Bowl, and what do you feel the Ravens need to do to win the Super Bowl?
Well, Josh brought up about how the Lions defense maybe hasn't been where it's supposed to be. I think what the Lions need to do is have a defensive performance similar to what they had against the Saints, which was, the Saints were one of the best offenses in football, running and passing, and the Lions defense managed to completely shut them down. And I think we're going to need to see a similar performance, especially rushing, where the Lions defense did really well against the Saints. I think we're going to need to see an atypical run defense performance from the Lions. And then as far as the Ravens are concerned, I think one of the big problems when you're facing a team like the Lions is dealing with the passing explosiveness. So I think that they're going to have to maybe get some picks or do something to try and limit that passing game. And then the other thing I would like to see is they've actually had really good success with Ed Dixon, their tight end. He's just under 1,000 yards. I would like to see them continue to exploit that matchup in the passing game, because if you're looking at a weakness on the Lions defense, it's probably at linebacker. So I would like to see them passing a lot to the tight end this game.
And Josh, your reflections on both teams for this one?
I would say the same. Very, very similar to what Zimmer said. It was well put that the Ravens, I think if there's a way that they lose this, it's that you get your run game going on them. Even though they're still getting sacks at a high rate, their actual just ability to stop the run in general kind of bent a little bit this year. So if there's somewhere to exploit is that I don't think traditionally although they've had very twitchy safeties, I don't think they have any top speed 90 speed safeties. So maybe some shots over the top linebackers for the Lions. Again, it's kind of a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type deal. Didn't really see that traditional defense during the regular season, but in that Saints game, they looked like the absolute shutdown team of old. So if that was just, being able to game plan a little better, because, you only have one team to game plan for, and we're all a bit more keyed in at the end of the season, maybe that will shine true. But I really think that Zimmer made a great observation that Mendenhall was a really underrated loss. one of the things I've always been impressed by is that you've gotten him to balance rushing and catching the ball so well, better than most running backs I've seen. And he doesn't really seem like he's like has exceptional ratings in doing that. So I know it's been a bit of game planning for you guys, but I'm not sure if your running back there now will be able to necessarily do it at the same rate, or if honestly he might just get tired of this game because the Ravens have a dual quarterback, a dual running back, and you guys really have one strong one and an okay backup. So it'll be really interesting to, well, I won't say okay, a good backup, but it'll be interesting to see how that goes. So I think it's going to be a really good even game. I think that if I had to say one team has the edge coming into it, it's probably the Ravens. But I think that the Lions definitely have the talent to win the game.
Okay, so let's dive in and let's watch the Super Bowl and see what happens. So as everyone knows, we've already simmed it. You can probably see by some of the bits on the screen that we're at season awards and score, etc. So we'll go to the watch game button. Hopefully you guys can see the screen. Please tell me if you can't, and if you can, that would be great.
One thing I'd like to mention before we get started, because we didn't get talked about, is Michael Orr, the Ravens' second best tackle, is questionable in this game. And if he doesn't play, there could be a real weakness on that Ravens offensive line, and that could be important in this game.
Absolutely, if they're missing, that could be a big miss for the Ravens. So can you guys see the screen now? I just want to double check. There's a pop up for the actual game.
Yep.
Yep. Cool. So you can see the Ravens field, etc.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So I've turned the speed up 1. We'll see how it goes in terms of pace. Leave the animation speed. I'll maybe turn it up 1 just so we get it a little bit quicker than normal. And let's kick off Super Bowl number 7 for the CSFL. Who will be the champion? Will it be the Baltimore Ravens or the Detroit Lions? Let's find out now. Oh, well, that's really quick. I didn't realize that would be that big. We'll slow that down. I might slow that down a little bit more. 1 second. Try and get the pace of the plays right. Hang on. There we go. That's a bit better pace, I think. Let's just turn that down a bit more. So, first play of the game there, passed out for 19 yards.
Well, it looks like Bernard's playing better than usual so far.
It looks like the drive's going okay so far.
Almost in field goal range to start off the game.
And got the first down there as well on 3rd and 1.
So this is actually one of the best performing plays for the Lions. They just see a bomb.
Oh.
Yep. This is
and an immediate first drive there for the Lions. Taking the first touchdown with the first drive. Let's see if the Ravens can respond. Is the speed okay for you guys, by the way? I just wanted to double check that.
Yeah, it's better now.
Yeah? Okay, cool. Better now. I forgot how I've been playing 22 so much. I forgot how the speed works on this one.
I'm gonna see if Flacco can come back with the response. Good start so far. Nice 6-yard gain. Ooh. I wonder if that's that tackle coming into play.
Maybe.
Well, 65. Let's see if we can spot him in here. He's not on. So, yep. Instead, they're starting Kessler, number 79. He's significantly worse.
Yep.
So that's going to be a big deal.
But they got out of that one in 3rd down situation there to keep that drive alive.
Very clutch play. Like I said, I'm predicting a shootout. I think that let's see who.
It looks like it so far, I have to say.
If it's a shootout, it's bad for the Ravens, I think. I think if it's a shootout, I would favor Detroit pretty heavily.
I couldn't make that out. What'd you say?
Oh, I said if it's a shootout, I think I favor Detroit.
I'd have to agree with that.
I think the Ravens want this to be a little bit more defensive than it started out. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, really good run there. 37 yards by Hillman.
Who is not one of their top 2. Their running backs are also insane. I think
And I'll just say on a complete side note, this game is kind of crazy sometimes. You'll see a random 70-something speed running back have 160 yards.
So incomplete there on third down. So field goal for the Ravens, and it is good. So they come back, not with 7, but they come back with 3 in that one.
I don't know about Zimmer, but your voice sounds really distorted on that one.
Oh, did it? I don't have a great microphone, so not much I can do about it, unfortunately.
So we're coming down to the back end of the first quarter here. Both teams have points on the board early, though, which is a difference from, I believe, the last Super Bowl we had, where it was a little bit more of a cagey affair.
Black was getting way too much time, or no, Stafford's getting so much time in the pocket. Not bode well for Baltimore.
A foul to
That was a big third down.
big third down stop there by the Ravens.
And definitely one of those moments you wish you had more control of the game. Like anyone, third and short, you run that.
Absolutely. But Scobie managed to make the kick, which puts 3 points back up for the Lions. Let's see if the Ravens come out and respond here in the back end of the first quarter.
18 is wide open.
Got it.
Oh, he's well open. That looks like that's going to be a touchdown.
He's coming in for a block.
The block is in there. And an immediate reply there.
You know, Gene Lastar Gene, I guess is his name. He's like, I think, third on their target list across the season.
So that brings us more or less to the end of the first quarter. They're tied up at 10 apiece.
That was a wild play.
I think your prediction, Josh, of a shootout is looking like it could be at the moment. And a big play there as well.
It's like a nice heavyweight fight. These teams are just exchanging haymakers.
It looks like it at the moment, definitely. Third and 2 here for the Lions. So we now move inside the 20.
Big conversion.
This is actually one of the big difference in play calling styles between the two teams. Is the Lions run a lot more passes out of 2 tight end sets.
Yeah.
And they've been pretty effective so far this game. 2 touchdowns out of them, actually.
It's made the drives a lot more consistent too. Instead of just big chunk plays, you're getting pretty steady production.
Yeah, the Ravens run 2 tight end sets, but they pretty much only run out of them. They almost never pass out of 2 tight end sets.
Ooh, they had another guy break open again. I thought that was going to be another big play.
Almost. Tell you what, it's interesting to watch that. It's just pure offense, both teams at this moment in time. Neither team can get a stop.
Yeah. Oh.
As soon as I say that,
Yeah.
stop. Commentators curse.
A strong run coming out the gates just to take away the entire idea of a safety.
Oh, I hate that with this game, with the safety thing. I swear we see that more often than not when it's in that situation on here.
I've noticed in 2022 when you get a safety, a lot of times you can actually see it on the screen now.
Oh man, that was a big missed tackle. Got that penetration back there. Running back went right by him.
Brandon Burton is having a bad game.
Yeah, he's getting abused.
There it is again. And he's a fairly good quarterback, especially just looking at the player rating.
What's his position skill? If you have it handy.
He's he's got 100% skill, 90 agility, 88 speed, 71 range. I think his problem is it's only 48.
Ooh.
And a big play there by Bernard brings a touchdown to Detroit with just over 2 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Now all 3 passing touchdowns have been out of the 2 tight ends.
Yeah. So far, Mendenhall, the loss of Mendenhall hasn't even really been a plot point. Been just murders from the air.
Yep.
Good first drive there by the Ravens, though, to come out of that one in their 2-minute offense now.
Yeah, not quite at the point where they've taken AP out the game yet, but almost there. They've got to. If they want to keep the run game viable, they've got to score on this drive.
Good start to the drive by the Ravens there, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Got down the field fairly quickly with that one. Now in field goal range nearly.
They need a touchdown.
With timeouts, they've taken a timeout there.
Oh, this looks like a scoring drive.
It looks like some points should be on the board here for the Ravens, I think. They've got 1 timeout left as well, so. Oh, big play there as well. Puts them right in red zone range.
Dennis with the fiery locker room speech.
No timeouts now, though, so it's just basically down to this, see whether they can put something up. And they have.
Yeah, no, that was incredible. Nice 2-minute drill.
Very good 2-minute drill there by the Ravens.
But there's a minute left for the Lions.
Ooh, terrible return there by Washington, I have to say. 50 seconds on the clock. Let's see what happens here. Probably run, I would imagine.
Yep.
I think that's going to bring us to the half. There we go. So that has brought us to halftime. The Detroit Lions are leading the Baltimore Ravens 24-17. But Josh, your prediction of a shootout is looking like that's coming true so far.
Yeah, I was expecting to see 30 points from both sides, and it's getting close to there. Like I said, Dennis must be doing the rah-rah that no one believes in us on the sideline. And you take that to the locker room and get his boys ginned up because they came back in that 2-minute drill before halftime, like that last touchdown that you got was nothing to them. So it'll be interesting to see if who has the momentum coming out. I'm not really sure who will have it.
Absolutely. And Zimmer, what's your reflections in this one so far?
I mean, it's a good thing that Baltimore scored in that last drive. This game could easily get away from them. I think that their best hope is that you stay ahead but close till the 4th, and then lines start running because of the stupid playbook override. And they get back into it. I think
absolutely. 7 points in it. Who knows what's going to happen this half? Should we dive straight back into it and see what happens? Unless you guys have anything else you want to pick up on at this point. Looks like it's a pretty much offensive game at this moment in time. I think if any defense turns up, then that may just be enough to to bring the title home for either team. But I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to say at this point, or should we dive straight into the second half?
Let's pull up the box score real quick.
If I pull it up, will it show us the whole score though? Because I've simmed.
Bad.
Yeah,
Nice.
so I don't think I can do that.
I'm pretty sure it will. So we can't really do that.
Yeah. Sorry, that was close.
Okay, let's go straight back into it. Let's go straight back in. So, second half of Super Bowl VII. Let's see what happens. So, important thing here is that Ravens have the ball first as well. So that 2-minute drill could have helped them massively. That 2-minute drill now.
Yep, they could double dip. Ooh, that was huge. Well, last time there was a sack like that, not only did they get over it, but they scored. So
we'll see what happens. Absolutely. So let's see what happens now. 3rd and 20. Big play here for the Ravens needed.
That could have been that was huge for field position. Need a big punt here. Oh, that's
huge punt.
That was monstrous.
Really good punt there.
Oh man.
Lee with a great punt there for the Ravens.
Nine passes for 187 yards. The Ravens, 14 for 211 yards. Lions. It's nothing but huge plays.
So a big stop there on 3rd down as well.
Yeah, both defenses have decided to show up in the second half.
Absolutely. And a big play there by the Ravens to get down the field.
This looks like that's play that they scored on before. It is. Oh man.
Ooh, big block there. Managing to get the tackle in on that one.
Pretty sure that was the play that the Ravens scored on earlier in the game. That had played out a little bit longer. That would have been big.
But they're moving down the field pretty well regardless.
Yep. Just goes to show how big plays like sacks and deflections are going to be in this game. There's not
huge sack there.
And that's Claiborne coming off of that missing tackle.
That was on both sides, though. That was just a great play call.
Managed to get the first down there on 3rd and 10. Ravens doing very well with the deep ball in this one so far.
That was clutch. And so far, the story of this game has been poor cornerback play.
Absolutely.
It's that play again, 18 wide open. This time got 48.
Yep.
So the Ravens have pegged the Lions back now, 24 apiece. Midway through the 3rd quarter now.
I was surprised to see those stops. Did not look like the way this game was going.
Yeah.
Oh, big running drive there by Molina.
I was all wrong. I thought that the Lions were going to struggle to run this game. But I guess the Ravens have the 20th running defense this year, so it's not too surprising.
Yeah, that was a great timely tackle for loss right there. Man, the Lions are throwing a lot in these 3rd down situations, but they're getting some of them. So it works. Some of these 3rd and shorts, though, these 3rd and inches, I wish they could have run a few of those in.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, tackled on the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
Here comes the pick for the fumble.
Oh, good stop by Nagasa there.
Oh,
There's the answer.
that was close too. Could have wrapped him up.
So I guess should we raise that expectation to the 40s for this game?
It's been pure offense, I have to say. Both teams really, really stepping up on that side. Both defenses, there's some questions to be asked, I think. I know you were saying about Burton, but Trufant is having a shocking game as well, I have to say, on our side. I don't think he's made any deflections. Well, maybe one, I think, actually. But he's been struggling against Welker out there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the story of this game might actually be the sacks. You've actually gotten more big defensive plays.
Maybe we'll see. It's still within one as we go into the fourth quarter now. All still to play for, and our first penalty of the game is in the fourth quarter. There, an illegal shift by Baltimore.
3rd and 11.
Oh, he's got room
Oh,
though.
that was huge.
You might want to release Trufant after this game.
Oh, he's getting on a bit, but he's still pretty elite. He's meant to be pretty elite.
The cornerback play in this game has just been horrible.
It really has. It really has. Big play there by the Ravens. Gets them within great position here.
Huge 3rd down.
Oh, and he's gone straight through.
That's
and he scored.
Wow.
Oh no, I don't think has he scored? No, he's on the 1 yard line.
He might as well have.
Yeah. And it's walked in.
Yeah.
So we are all tied up again in this fourth quarter. At 31 apiece. That is absolute madness.
This is what you want to see in the Super Bowl.
It is.
No, it's not. I'm sure the Lions want to see a blowout here.
Well, as a unbiased spectator, this is what I want to see.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, first sack there as well.
GM's involved.
That's huge. And it's the first one the Ravens have gotten in this game. And like I said,
Stafford holding on to the ball a little bit too long there, I think.
Oh, that was surprising. Run forward right there.
See if the quarterbacks can show up.
Oh.
Nope.
What?
But there is a play. The play got nullified due to taunting from Matthews. Fantastic. And couldn't make it happen there. Punt team is out for the Lions.
Gotta love those random penalties.
I love a good taunting penalty on a 3rd down situation. Fantastic. Let's see if the Ravens can get something going here, and they can, getting straight down to midfield.
But it was a player with a glowing personality as well.
I'm sure it was, yeah. Let's see if the Ravens can take the lead here. A sack by Fuller. Wow.
Defenses are showing up in a big way.
Defenses have just arrived, it looks like.
That was a DT sack, too. Those are pretty rare in this game.
Oh, and 48's open. Oh, no, Harding was tracking him. Okay. Looked like he was open, must be on top of him. And the defenses have turned up for both teams now in the fourth quarter. First set of stops we've seen from both teams.
Are we going to see kickers come into play?
Well, under 6 minutes now. This is nervous time now.
This is the second time you've been behind 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, on good punts as well.
I was surprised he ran it there, but bravo.
Don't pick those up a lot, 35 runs.
Check down, just take some yards.
So we're under 2.5 minutes left in this Super Bowl.
Looks like this, like I said, it might come down to kickers.
It could well be.
Or we might we've had a Super Bowl going to overtime. Didn't I believe one of mine did.
I believe, yeah. I don't actually know. I should have looked that up before we came into this one. About an open play there.
Can he get
He's going incredibly slow. He doesn't make it.
I think the ball weighs 1,000 pounds in this game. So once they catch it, it's a half speed.
But the drive ends in a touchdown. Molina going in there. So now we are in a situation, I think, with 1 minute on the clock. The Ravens, can they do what they did in the second half and pull it back with a last sort of minute or so drive here?
Touchbacks and no return.
Oh, big play there.
No,
Good start for the Ravens there. Timeout has been called. I'm not sure what the clock situation is because we can't see it. 45 seconds on the clock left. Oh, went with the same wide receiver, and Gene didn't quite get it.
They're going to make it close.
Is that play
It's
again?
going to be very close. Oh, 12 seconds on the clock.
Last play of the game, right here.
No.
Oh, that was it.
That was it. That was the last play of the game.
Lions win the Super Bowl. Congratulations.
So the Detroit Lions have won the 7th CSFL Super Bowl. Zimmer, let's start with your reactions to the game. What a crazy blowout game. Both teams scoring huge amounts, but yeah, as a new GM, let's get your reflections on your first Super Bowl that you've watched in the CSFL.
Yeah, I think it was just a crazy game. I don't know what else you can say. I mean, 506 yards for the Ravens, and they lost. How often do you lose with 506 total yards? Don't see that very often. 2 receivers over 100. Crazy. I think that it's about time, though, the Lions were the Super Bowl. They've had such a talented roster for so long.
Crazy game. Josh, your thoughts on the game as well? You're still the 2-time Super Bowl champion. You're still up there with just yourself now.
Yep, one line that is nice, but I don't think it'll last that way from long because the Lions are stacked till 2044. So I'm sure that maybe I'll be lucky enough to meet you there, but some other team will meet you there next year. Both defenses absolutely vanished. That was my assessment. I thought this would be a shootout because of that. I think that in these really big games, the team with the more dominant offense kind of comes out, because when you have a really good defense, that's going to be measured in your ability to get shock plays or value plays more so than actually hold the other team to a low score. And that kind of came to fruition here. It's pretty much exactly like I thought when I sat down before, and I thought that you were going to ask me to pin down a score. I was going to say 28-35, but both teams upped me by about 7 points. So, it was a very high scoring game, but it was a great one. I think that was one of the better Super Bowls we've had. We didn't have a blowout. It didn't exactly have a last minute come from behind victory, but we did have a walk-off, kind of a walk-off touchdown or a game-winning touchdown. So it was great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm ecstatic to have won, but my God, it was such a close game. I think it was a great game for a neutral. Not for me. It was a great game for a neutral, end to end. But neither defense decided to show up. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, both teams, I think, will pretty much their rosters will stay intact more or less going into the off season, into next year, and we'll see if anyone else comes back for next season. But yeah, I guess commiserations to Dennis. Did fantastic to get to the Super Bowl. So close. Just last roll of the dice. Unfortunately, the last play of the game. I mean, God. Both teams' offenses were great. Any closing thoughts from either of you on this year's Super Bowl or on the off season in general?
I wouldn't be shocked to see a third match of this. I guess would that be the rubber match or the one to decide it all? Because I really think with some of the changes I've heard coming down the pipeline with the new game that both of the styles of play of these teams are going to be a bit augmented. So hold on.
And Zimmer, any closing thoughts from yourself on the Super Bowl or going into the off season?
Can we see the sacks allowed real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I'm curious. No? Oh, it looks like Over did play.
Yeah, I think he may have been at right tackle for some of the possessions from what I saw. I mean,
maybe he didn't play as many snaps as he normally does.
Maybe.
So, I mean, congratulations to the Lions is all I have to say about it. I mean, it was a crazy game. I think either team could have won.
It was those 4 sacks. I really do think that was the difference in the game.
Yeah, that's why I wanted the 2 sacks allowed. I was wondering if it was all down to Fitzler, but he didn't actually allow a sack. So.
No.
Yeah. No, it was apparently Ronnie Hillman allowed 2 sacks.
Yep. They had a great game otherwise. I think he had 2 touchdowns or 1 touchdown. But he put up some pretty good plays. So you can't be too upset with him. Yeah, 4 receptions for 65 yards and 2 touchdowns. Can't ask for too much more time in the receiving game for a running back.
Yeah, and he had a decent rushing game too. But it was those 2 sacks he gave up that might have been the difference of the game.
Yeah, possibly. So that brings us to the end of CSFL Season 7. The Detroit Lions are the CSFL champions. But we'll be back. Tomorrow we've got the coach sim going forward, and then straight into the off season. We'll see what happens. The off season is going to be fascinating. There's some big names I think in free agency coming out, and obviously we saw the draft lottery yesterday. But we'll see what happens. Fantastic end to the season. Great to see everyone so interested and engaged with everything that's going on, which is great to see. But yeah, thank you very much, Josh and Zimmer, for joining the show today. And best of luck both of you with the off-season, with the draft, free agency, and with the upcoming season. I'm sure, Zimmer, you can't wait to get stuck in with the Jets. And Josh, I'm sure you've got some great ideas and expectations for how you're going to retool that Titans team as well.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the next season. First off, again, congratulations to you and Stone again for your championship. And as we roll over, I'm looking forward to hitting the free agency and the draft and all that nonsense. So let's do it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun. It was a